Welcome back to AI War Fleet Command, Fallen Spire campaign as we continue on. This is Herculina getting built up, and we have done some more scouting. We'll continue to do more scouting. I'll take a look at that later in this episode and recap where we're at. But first of all, we want to do some things here, and we're almost to the 1 hour point. So that's what I'm hanging out here for, to see what happens with the Spire civilian leaders. We can see we've got this one here. It's captured. And I also want to take a look, as the title mentions, at the Spirecraft. And here we've got 1 Zampite and 3 Pisite asteroids. There's 6 different varieties, but those are all right here. As soon as we click past the 1 hour mark, I'm going to take a look at those. And we're fighting an Enclave starship there, no big deal. Okay, look at all these wonderful messages. Well, we've got obviously AI progress from the auto progress. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from civilian leaders, but then also the -3 from the one that we captured. So that's a total of +5 for our first round with the Spire leaders. Now, when we get to hour 2, I want that to be a negative number, or at the very least a break-even number. And if we captured 1 more planet with a civilian leader and we took out 2 additional, which very reasonable goal, we should be able to handle that. That would even things out. Our progress is up to 104, and even more important in this game, I think, than in previous ones, is going to be the AI floor. Because if we capture enough civilian leaders, I may even not even want to bother with things like the super terminal coprocessors, because that could potentially not gain us much when you consider that we could be dropping significantly with the Spire civilian leaders. But all of that is down the road, really, for the moment. Now, we've got some metal accumulating here. Now, in terms of research, I want to get a lab going in here. And then you can see we've got 1 progressing. We've done all the research in Cato Nemoida, in our home system of Elpis, and now we've got the one in Eugenia, which has just started. So we're still going to need to send that eventually on to Fresenius and Iris. I'm in no particular hurry, but here in Herculina, I want to get that one started, do the research that we're going to do in here. And I've been gradually building up more turrets. I'm not where I want to be yet, but we're getting closer. You can see energy is really low because we don't have this thing in place. The energy collector is about to finish here. And then I also want to get a Spire mining ship going so we can take a look at the Spirecraft. There we go. And now we're up to 178 or so, but that's still, I'd like to keep it close to that. Still don't have a lot of energy to play with. Okay, there we go. So now our mining ship's done. Let's take a look at what it can do. And you can see it's got several different types. And these are all corresponding different types of asteroids. And so, like, Reptite's Tier 1, Pisite's Tier 2, and so on. The ones we have in here are Zampite and Pisite. So Pisite is Tier 2 and Zampite is Tier 3. Let's take a look at those. Now, the Pisite is the most common one. We got 3 of those and only 1 of these. A Spirecraft Scout, which are permanently cloaked, but they get their health drained for every wormhole they go through outside of supply. But it will give us another source of scouts that we can use, and this would give us, you know, the standard version, which it looks like we can build up to 16 of these. They cost 20,000 energy, so they're not cheap. Obviously good speed at 500. And then you can see that up at the top it says creates 2, meaning that each asteroid we would be able to get 2 out of. So then we've got the jump ship, which is a transport that teleports, but it only has a really small capacity in terms of what it can transport, and then takes attrition damage on AI worlds with a higher mark than it. So it's basically, if it's going to go any type of long distance to enemy territory, it has to be a higher mark than the territory it's crossing. So a lot more valuable, the higher mark ones, obviously. So the fact that it can teleport across the space means it's not going to spend a lot of time inside each system. It just teleports to the other side and moves along. Okay, so now we've got the RAM, and you can see we can do the Mark 1 or Mark 2 rams. And these are basically kamikaze ships. at one use, obviously, because they're going to run into the enemy, and 400k to, or 800k damage. So that's a lot. And we definitely want to be using this, obviously, if we want to take out something really powerful. Didn't want to use a warhead or whatever, we could build one of these. Then we have the Martyr. This is the Mark II Martyr. And no guns, bristling with tractor beams. And then it'll explode for extreme damage. You can see it's got 5 million explosion damage. So basically what we're looking at here is it's a warhead that can tractor enemy ships to have them stay close. Otherwise, very much like a lightning warhead in terms of how its damage is applied. Obviously no AI progress comes from it. Implosion artillery. This is one of those that I'm probably a little more likely to invest into. The Mark II here, which we can build up to 6 of them. And they've got a long range attack. This one is 25k in range, so that's not super long range, but it's pretty good. The attack that it does is based on percentage of the enemy ship's remaining health, so it does a lot better against intact targets. And then once they're whittled down, it's not going to do nearly as much damage. So it wouldn't be super great at killing things outright. Good at lowering down. These would be really nice against the enemy starships, enemy guardians, guard posts, things of that nature. Siege Tower. And this is basically the Spirecraft version of the Plasma Siege starship. It's even described the same way and all the words and everything. I think the engine damage is higher. Otherwise, it's, you know, a souped up Plasma Siege starship that the Spirecraft gets. Shield Bearer. And these are nice for certain attacks, but again, we can't use, like, we can't repair any of this stuff. So it's not like we can have this as a permanent thing. But they would be very nice. And you can see, like, this is just the Mark I Shield Bearer. And this has a force field health of 250k. So that's not bad. Compare that to our Mark I, like the hardened force field is 50k. And it's like 200k so for the standard one. So this is literally, it's mobile, but it's actually stronger than our standard regular force field. And then we have the Attritioner. And this damages enemies, you can see 3 per second. And it's just going to cause that damage constantly to any ships in the system. So firing up against a large enemy fleet, these would be really nice for that sort of purpose. And the Translocator, we've seen Translocator eyes before. They knock enemy across the system. And they do some fair amount of damage too. 274 damage times 40 for this one, the Mark II version. So I like these for, obviously, large-scale engagements. So you see they got quite a few things here. And if we go up to the Zampite one, we only have one of these again. And we've got the Scout, but then we can have the Mark II Scout. We've got the Jump Ship or Mark II Jump Ship. And then the Ram, Mark II or Mark III. So we've got better versions of this stuff. Mark III Martyr, Mark III Artillery, Siege Tower, Mark III, Shield Bearer, Mark II, which has 500k health. So much better. I mean, that's better than our Mark II force field. It's getting close to our Mark III. Attritioner Mark II. See, it's got double. That's 6 per second there. Translocator Mark III. And then also a new one called the Spirecraft Penetrator. And this thing is interesting. It cloaks. It can only fire once every half an hour. So you have to target it manually. But obviously it's meant to do massive damage to one ship or one target because it does 140k damage. And again, this is the initial version of it. These are a couple of the lower level, fairly lower level options. And we can go on and build other things. Now, given where we're at with energy, I'm not actually going to do anything with this yet. I'm going to drop this back inside of our shield because I want to boost our energy with all of the other stuff. I want to get our turrets in place up to the normal amount I like to do, the 2/3 cap, the 30 mainline turrets, and so on. I've got about half of my planets up to that. I also want to get going on building more of the starships. You know, build all the standard stuff that I've got unlocked. And then I want to start working on this Hive Golem right away because I want to be able to deploy that if we have any major exo attacks. But mostly, at the moment, the Spirecraft is just going to hold on till later. Other expenses are going to hold on till later until we can expand a little bit more and get more scouting done and know more about where we're going to want to go. Still in Herculina here, where things may look a bit worse than they are. We're just chasing around some Ninezil shift. There's some Preservation Warden there, regular roaming Enclave there. And the reason that I'm doing that is a couple-fold, really. Yeah, there comes a bunch of my scouts going through off to other places as we continue to work on that. But one, they keep coming in, and they're smart enough not to try to attack us directly. They want to take out this golem. So I've got this shield that I keep rebuilding, and we're gradually working on that, consuming some of our metal. But I want to get that out of the way. And it looks like it's going to be a lot more difficult with these guys to just, put a shield over the golem and forget about it for several hours. Once I take a golem system, I'm probably going to need to spend the effort to activate it. So that's part of it. And all of that is cleared out. The other thing that's going on, which sort of fits in with this for me, is that all of the systems I want to take now tend to have high mark ion cannons. I'd like to go into Strix Nebulosa, that's a Mark 5. The next one I really want to take now is Merapi. That's a Mark 3 in there, plus it has a barracks. So I unlocked assault transports and I unlocked Mark 1 and 2 Zenith starships to sort of help knock those out. I built the other kind of starships we can build at the beginning, Plasma Siege, Bomber, Leech, etc. Riot Control, obviously going to be a big one. This is only a Mark II planet, or that's not Utapau, Merapi. Only a Mark II planet, and the backup design server there is the Vorticular Cutlass, which I don't much care about, so I'm not going to bother spending the hacking. But I want the Zenith power generator to get the energy, and also Black Widow Golem be nice too, to make up for what I'm spending on the starships, because we're now lowering down significantly, and this is going to be down to not very much at all when I go in. I'm going to build basically as many starships as I can get away with, go in there, and the idea being I'll recoup all that energy and then some. The guard posts in there, other than the missile post, are, there isn't that much. Of course, last time we scouted, it was over an hour ago. They've probably got more ships, but they're not on alert. Probably don't have a lot more ships. So we should be able to, we can see, like, V-Date, they've already got 200 ships. And I can really feel the difference in how fast they reinforce, because they're starting to build up their numbers significantly. Hypatia's got over 200 ships, bursting barracks pretty soon. So they are really racking up the numbers with their reinforcements, and I'm going to need to be careful of that. Well, my transport made it through, 16 starships and the colony ship to Merapi, but the situation here is decidedly yuck. One, there's 400 ships in here. Now, they're going to be low-marked ships, but still, 400 ships? Fleet ships? That's going to take some doing, and I don't think my starship's going to be able to handle that. I may have to do multiple runs into here or something. Perhaps I should have waited for the Hive Golem, and if I fail in this attempt, then that's what I'm probably going to do. Bring the Hive Golem in here and clean the rest out. There's also a couple Guardians in here which are a little bit evil. We have the Disassembler Guardian, which literally swallows starships and gradually destroys them. Attrition damage. At least it can only do one at a time. It's got a powerful attack with a 6,000 range. I'll want to be targeting that pretty quick. And then we've got the Spire Shield here, but hopefully it will not do great damage from underneath that. Then over here, we've got a couple. We've got another Disassembler Guardian. Yuck. And then we also have this thing, a Spire Implosion Guardian. And that's the one that does damage based on a percentage of the enemy ship's health. So I think what I want to do is fly over here and unload, and then go after these two Guardians, first the Implosion and then the Disassembler, and then go off to other places. I'm not sure how this is all going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. We're running away, and this is about to die soon, so yeah, right about there. Okay, so now let's have the colony ship just run away. And if I have to bring in a new one of those, that's fine. Take out this. There we go, Disassembler Guardian. Okay. And why are we being killed? I shouldn't have anything. Oh, because the leech is capturing ships. That's why. Okay. So now I should, in theory, be able to start doing some damage. Yeah, they're going to probably destroy my colony ship. They are. Okay, that's fine. Not too worried about it. Assault transport, get out of the way. Let's work on clearing out some of this other stuff. Oh my, what are these? Ram Spirecraft. Well, we're probably screwed here. Okay, so there goes 4 starships. Got to see those in action, not the way I was intending though. So that's a joyful, fun thing. Let's see, we've got the regeneration chamber here for the 9-Zool. Cloaker guard post. Let's go after this. Let's try to take out that disassembler guardian if we can. Actually, let's do this in a more of a group manner. Yeah, those raid starships are going to grab it eventually. Huh, kind of ugly looking thing up close. Bunch of red there. Okay. What on earth is... Oh my goodness, we've got translocators, shield bearers. Yeah, this is implosion artillery. Forget this. Okay, so very clearly this is not going to work. Let's all just get out. See if we can get back to Iris. Of course, the translocators are going to make even that idea not pleasant. Yep. They're kind of just got us trapped in here. They're going to wipe us out. Okay. So, we're learning a bit of a lesson here. One does not screw around with the Spirecraft. Because I think what I'm going to want to do is bash my way in here with the Hive Golem. And just teach them a lesson. I'm hoping that'll work. But we're going to lose a bunch of ships here. Yeah. Not blade spawners. Whatever. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get it. I don't think I'm getting anybody out of here. No, they're all dead. Well then. Our good friends, literally, the human resistance, came in when they hit with the largest of the reprisals here, almost 500 ships in Eugenia. I think we would have been fine without them, but obviously they were a nice welcome present for us. I've gotten a few starships in here to just sort of help out. And this is obviously going to get cleaned up quite quickly. We'll get some nice salvage from it. Now, soon afterwards, I discovered something else. I was scouting out a little bit more, and then I ran into Calypso. Mark IV planet, right? Well, it's more than that. It's a core world, which makes it extremely likely, I'd virtually bet on it, that Neos is one of the homeworlds. Now, the second one is probably in Nereid, but could be Viking, could be somewhere else. This really surprised me. I didn't think we'd be that close to the homeworld. So, hey, we've got a base that is 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps away from the homeworld. So that is close enough if we want to make that happen. I'd like to be 1 jump closer, but it's close enough to make it work. Pound through, destroy all of the Tachyon Sentinels, use Cloaker starships, whatever. In the meantime, I had another priority, though, which is I built a Cloaker starships in here because I wanted to get reasonably safely, get the Hive Golem out of here, work it back this way, probably knock out the Tachyon Sentinels in Utapau and Titania to get into Merapi a little bit more conveniently. and then see what we can do in there. And our transport's still around, by the way. But yeah, they've got all these fun Spirecraft. And I want to take a look at those really quick, because the Wasp have a blades type attack. And from what I can see, these are not invulnerable to it. So I think I can wait for my Hive Golem to fill up, come in here, and at the very least have quite a bit of fun. Okay, here we are. Now I had to wait a while for it to fill up, mostly fill up. We got everything in here, and I've got the Cloaker Starship around with the Hive Golem so that they can't see the Hive Golem, because the Hive Golem can't cloak itself. This cloaks itself, that's fine. I sent in raid starships to get rid of any Tachyon Sentinels on the way. Now, the idea is I just pop in the Hive Golem just for a second, and then it's going to release its stuff and get out right away, because otherwise it'll get blown up by all the hostile stuff in here. You can see there's some things right here in the immediate vicinity. But it shouldn't have to stick around long enough to die. If it does, obviously I'll be very aggravated. And then it pops out. All of the wasps go to work. And then if they're able to clean out a good amount of this, then I can send in my starships to try to finish the rest. Pop the barracks, maybe the wasps can help out with that. All of that fun stuff. So let's see if this plan is worth a darn thing. There we go. Okay, we're in. Now, activate, unload. And let's see, you are down, yeah, you're already down to 1. You'll load them all immediately, and then you get the heck out. There we go. All that went fine. Now I want them to take out some of this stuff before I send in the starships, but that should all be, yeah, and you deactivate so you're not ticking anything off in here. It's also going to stop it from filling up, actually, deactivating, but that's fine. Let's just see how this works. Yeah, they're swarming over the Spirecraft pretty good. Oh yeah, all that's working lovely. So let's send in now this transport, which is the one that has my starships in it. There you go. Now you go pop that barracks. I want those wasps to be able to help out with that. There you go. Now get away. Get away, get away, get away now. Let the wasps clean up the mess. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, so what we got over here? We got an ion cannon. We got a zenith power generator. Looks like they took out the guard posts too. Yeah, there's nothing left. That's going to work out beautifully. Pop the command station. Send in a colony ship. And we are in business. And here is Merapi all set up. We've got the turrets in place. And we have a bit of an issue over here at the wormholes. Titania has all of my starships over here and a force field because that's where our Black Widow Golem is. Astro trains also like to come through there. So that's a bad combination. Eventually we're probably going to want to knock out the Astro train station that's right next door in Saturn. Probably going to do that pretty soon, actually. But until then, getting this Black Widow Golem up and running, given the attack pattern that we've been seeing from the AIs, definitely important. You can see it's taken a little bit of damage there, actually. I also want to boost my turrets up now that we have energy. We went from 11,000 energy to, well over 600,000 energy when I came in, and then we paid for the turrets with, of course, the collector in here. Now, I did use a Mark II logistics station. We only had 2 of those left. I felt it was worth it, protecting the Zenith power generator, and it's also got a Mark III ion cannon, which is helping us out in our defense. They're both in the same area. That's very convenient, a good distance away from the wormholes, especially these two. So this is a nice defensive location I want to use that for. More asteroids of the same variety there as well. So looking out further, from here, we're probably going to want to hit that backup design server there pretty soon, because that has munitions boosters. Saw how powerful they were before. We're not necessarily going to get the Mark V ones, but if we unlock the first set and then research the second set, we could get boosters for all of our defenses. Logistics stations plus munitions boosters for the turrets is, to my mind, like the perfect sweet spot, Goldilocks zone, for planetary defense. Data center here in Eris that we'll probably want to take out, one not much further away in Adiona. Don't know that we're in range of that quite yet. Of course, down here in Minerva, is the botnet golem. Down here, we've got another coprocessor and eventually another Hive Golem, another civilian leader. Not sure exactly what I'm going to want to do with that. We've only got about 15 minutes left. I want to see if I can get to any more civilian leaders. I did raid the one in Palma, but that's it. So as things sit right now, we would be +7 from the civilian leaders and -3 for the one that we've captured. I'd like to make a little more progress than that. Here in Varda, and also in Bianor, we mentioned that, got the third coprocessor, the first one being in Utapau. So we've found 3 of those, only have 1 more left to get. We found some interesting things out this way. There's another data center in Typhon eventually. Radislava here has got the Mark V Zenith Reserve. I'd like to show that off at some point this game just because I haven't looked at it yet. I don't know exactly what it gives you, and that's the top one. So obviously Mark V ships would really help. There'd definitely be some in there that are better than what we can get on our own. Velius has the Mark V bomber, and I'm not sure what this backup design... Okay, that's got the tank. That's not too exciting. Probably not going to get that, but the Mark V bomber starship, worth considering. Over here in Chiron, we've got another civilian leader. That one might be just in range. I might try to hit that one. We'll see. Mark IV planet. I don't know. Maybe we can get in there. Here, we've got the Mark V planetary, or Mark V plasma siege, along with the planetary armor booster. So that's going to be an interesting consideration. This does have 5 metal, but it also borders the core world. If I take that, we're going to definitely be waiting a while for it. Haven't decided on that yet. So there's lots of things to be looking at here. We've found an advanced research station in Camilla. Nothing too interesting there. I want to keep pushing on, but we've got most of this side scouted and some decent options. After we finish up in here with the broken Black Widow, of course, we'll want to at least hop into Strix Nebulosa and take the artillery golem there, along with those 2 very nice ion cannons. And that would give us a decent, pretty good starting collection. Artillery golem, Hive Golem, and the Black Widow. Those are all some very nice ones with the option for the second Hive Golem there. So that's sort of the lay of the land for now. We'll have more coming up soon. Until then, thanks for watching. AI War Fleet Command will return.